You got enough money, and they're telling you can retire, and you're healthy. But you're a chicken. That's what I kept telling myself. What if the market goes down? What if there's a correction? What if I run out of money? Well, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. Let's talk about it. The year was 1986, and I was an 18-year-old college kid. I just started working for one of the largest companies in America. 40 years later, here and now in 2026, I just retired. Now, let me help you get there a lot faster than I did. Now, if you're still with me, I want you to hit that subscribe button. Hit the like. In fact, it really help it if you would share this video with somebody else that you want to help. That's why I'm doing this, so that you can learn from my mistakes. Most of all, please watch until the end. That will help this channel grow. And thanks, by the way, for all the comments I've been getting. So let's talk about how I got started. The year was 1990, and I was finishing college, and I was getting married. And we were about to go into something I had never heard of. It was called a recession. And so getting a job was tough. But I hung in there. In fact, I'm so glad that I stuck it out with the same company. I worked for the same company for 40 years. Some of you are not even 40 years old yet. And that's why I want to tell you what you can learn from my mistakes. I took the long road. So at 1990, fresh out of college, newlyweds, and I thought that I was a grown-ass adult. I was a grown-ass man, and I needed to have everything else that the other adults in my life had. I needed a house. I needed 2 cars. I needed a tractor. I needed everything now. And so with that came a stack of bills sky high. I went into debt like nobody's business. And I thought that's just the way you did it. Now, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I love my family, and on both sides, they are good, hard-working people. But we didn't have much financial education. It really pisses me off, actually, that the public school system, and they don't teach it, and it's not by accident. It's intentional. I think it goes back to Mr. Rockefeller, where he created the public school system and said, I don't want competition, I want good employees. So, lack of that financial education led right into debt, just like most people that I knew. Now, yeah, this is a breathtaking hill. By 2001, I dug myself a pretty deep hole. It looked great to everybody on the outside looking in. In fact, I just built a new house. And I had a couple of kids, 2 car payments, a motorcycle that I didn't need. I loved it, but I sure didn't need that payment. And I had a wake-up call. Here's how it went. God, I guess, created a new opportunity for me. One I did not know that I wanted. In fact, I was mad. I was put in a position to develop a new product and to go sell that product before it even existed. It took me out of my comfort zone. Let me stop and say this to you. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. You got to understand this. Comfort is easy. Doing the same old thing over and over again, that's easy too. So here I am in this new position, mad about it, and it's hard. Lots of traveling, lots of work. I was having to cover 2 states at that time. Well, that came and went a couple years later, and then guess what? There was no position for me. It wasn't that I was fired or laid off, but it was, what are you going to do with me? I was given an opportunity, if you want to call it that. I was forced to take a job 101 miles exactly away from my home. That means 101 miles back every day. So That put a lot of time behind the windshield. I parked the truck that I loved because gas mileage was crap. Went and bought myself a $3,000 Honda Accord. Now, thankfully, I was being paid mileage, so all those 200 mile a day trips, I was getting a gas check for. It only took 11 months of mileage checks to pay back that $3,000 car. And guess what? I drove that car for 5 more years. I paid for a car, and I was taking those gas checks, and I was paying for the truck. But more about that later. 2 hours to work and 2 hours back every day. Now, I love music. I love to sing along to the radio with the windows up, if you know what I mean, because you do not want, hey, I can sing into this, but that's about it. And I stumbled upon somebody on the radio talking about how to get out of debt. I didn't stumble upon it at all. I think it was all a massive blessing, all by design. This was one of the things that, first of all, made me realize if I ever want to get to where I want to be, which is retired, I need to be debt-free. Now, once you have that realization, it's a hard pill to swallow. You're going to get mad at yourself, and that is the fuel you need. Be mad at yourself. But you're also going to be overwhelmed with, my gosh, this is going to take forever to fix. But you know what? Every journey starts with one small first step. Now that's a cliche, but it's true. Just like this step right here. Now you've done something. Take another step. Now you've done something else. And you look back and go, my gosh, I didn't go anywhere. But you did. In fact, it starts to snowball. And a snowball approach is one of the ways that you get yourself out of the smallest debt. We'll talk about that more in some future details when we get into really granular steps on what to do. But I want you to know that time is on your side. You need to know that whatever you got yourself into, you can get yourself out of. Now, how does that affect your retirement? Well, for one, by this time I was 33 years old. In fact, some of you have commented in other videos that it took you a while to wake up. Maybe you were in your 30s, maybe you're even in your 40s. You might even be in your 50s and think you'll never retire, but you can and you will. Listen, this channel is for all of us who either are thinking about retirement, planning on retirement, or just like me, finally in retirement. I think what's the day? I have been retired 17 days. And what motivated me to make this video this morning is to help you. I guess I'm kind of paying it forwards. Or am I paying it backwards? I want you to get there faster than I did. So you had enough money, you got your health, and even your financial planner is telling you you probably have enough. And how much is enough? What if there's a market correction? I saw that happen in 08. And in 08, some of the people who love me the most called me and said, oh my gosh, everything is tanking. We need to get out of the market. Sounds bright. And some of them did. That was a big, big mistake because stock market goes up, stock market goes down. It's gonna happen. You gotta be in it for the long haul and you gotta be prepared for the ups and downs. So the best thing I ever did was nothing. I didn't get out in 08. In fact, some of the very few shares of stock that I owned went from about $70 a share to $30 a share. And like I said earlier in a different video, that's actually time. That's the time to get in the market, people. When there's blood on Wall Street, people are selling and are afraid. That's the time to buy. So I didn't have a whole lot of money because I was trying to get out of debt. But I bought a few shares when I could. Now those shares are significantly higher, triple or quadruple what they were. Because time and money are best friends. You get nothing else out of this video. Know that time and money are best friends. And so that's why you want to get started now. But you got to trust that you're going to have enough when you get there. And I can't tell you how many people have commented on other videos that they'd wish they had done it sooner. Let me tell you this. You don't have one more day. Just one more day of work. Just one more day of savings. You're looking at it backwards, people. You and me, we all have one less day. You got one less day around this rock. You better be getting busy with it, and you better start now. And if you've made it this far in the video and you want to get to retirement, this is going to motivate you to take that first step. And if it's not your first step, maybe it's your next step. Comment in the comments below and let me know where you are. Have you started or have you not started? Listen, they're always going to tell you you need more, and your brain's going to want more. You know why that is? That's fear. Don't be a chicken shit. Get your planning started, stick with it, and be in it for the long haul. You know, there's 7 wonders of the world, and you can look those up. Maybe it's the pyramids, but the 8th wonder of the world is compounding interest. That's why I say money and friends. Your money can be your friends, but money and time, TikTok, money and time are best friends. That's how it grows, through compounding interest. Whether you've got some money sitting in a savings account, you might be earning less than 0.5%, but at least you're doing something. At least you're saving some money. I want to tell you that I wish I'd started sooner, but no matter how late I started, I'm here. I'm retired, and I'm still healthy, and I'm out here getting some exercise, walking in the sunshine, and I want you to be able to come with me. So you know what? Get that first step going. You have got to stop being afraid. If you've ever read the Bible, and if you haven't, I can tell you that it's been good for me. But there's 365 times it says fear not in the Bible. That's like one for every day. Fear not. So why are we all afraid? It's all up here. Be fearless. Fortune favors the bold, people. Get out and get started. And if you've got lots of money or you're making lots of money, maybe you don't have a earning problem. Maybe you got a spending problem. So act as if you are retired now. What does that mean? It means practice. It means think about it as if you're retired. Spend as if you are retired. Save as if you're retired. We are all super blessed to be on this planet at this time. I don't know where you're watching from. Maybe you're watching from the US, maybe you're watching from Canada or Australia. You could be watching in another part of the world. You can do it. I want to leave you with this thought. In fact, I should probably put it on a t-shirt. Expect great things, because you get what you expect.